So the other day, my friend shoots me a text. He's like, "Bro, I need your advice." And I'm like, "What do you need?" So he calls me up. He doesn't need. He gave me an unsolicited phone call. He's like, "Dude, there's this really hot Latina coworker, and I want to impress her. Do you have any tips?" And I'm like, "Well, it depends. What type of Latina is she?" Because there's different types of Latinas, like some are more quiet, more reserved, some are very loud. Que tú eres tope. Some are more. It depends what type of Latina you're dealing with. Although I will say it also doesn't matter because all Latinas have one thing in common. Every Latina loves food. So if you just find a way to use food as a love language and get to her heart through food, I recommend that. So I said, you need to figure out a way to get her on a date where you feed her, and take her on a double date. Latinas love double dates. And when I say double date, I don't mean like a date you two and then another couple. What do you guys do for work? That's nice. I don't mean double date like that. I mean a double date in the sense of like you take her to go do something, an activity, and then after that you feed her, and you should pair the activity with the meal. You know what I'm saying? So you can do like putt putt and pernil. You could do something cute like that. But I told him, make sure you just get to her heart through food. Also, side note, Latinas pay attention to how you speak to them. In Spanish, we use a lot of words romantically. Mi amor, preciosa, princesa. The list goes on. There's a million words that you can say that are very passionate. So I think when you speak to Latinas in English, you should up that game a little bit. Instead of saying cutie patootie, I mean that shit don't really fly in the Latino community. Don't say no shit like cutie patootie. Up the game a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Instead of being like, you're very pretty, say something like your majesty. Hit her with the your majesty. You know what I'm saying? Instead of saying you look good today, say that she looks scrumptious. Bring back the word scrumptious. We don't say scrumptious enough. Your scrumptious majesty. Say that to her. Also, I told him a piece of advice was that he should clear out his Instagram because his Instagram has pictures of him doing stuff with his friends, which is cool, not a red flag. I would say a big red flag in those pictures is that he's the only guy in the photo. Like stop flicking off iPhone 13s. All right, that's a red flag, and don't talk to her about anime because you might remind her of her little brother if you start talking to her about anime. But there's a chance that she likes it, so I would be cautious with the whole anime talk. Anyway, I gave him these tips. I was like, chill out, do this, that, and the other. He goes, all right, cool. 3 days later, he sends me another text. Bad news. And I said, "Oh, what's going on? What's the bad news? What's happened?" He calls me up. He's like, "I saw her getting out of some other dude's car. Some other dude dropped her off at work. What the?" And he's mad. He's like super pissed. I was like, "Okay, relax. We don't know what that means. Could be family. Could be family. You know what I'm saying?" I said, Were you around? Like, did you see this happen?" And he goes, "Yeah, I was in the parking lot watching through my car." And I said, that's a huge red flag. I hope she didn't see you doing that. But he said that she did not say anything that he was able to make out. He said that she spoke in Spanish. I said, "What did she say in Spanish? Did she address the man as primo, or was it more like amor?" How did she address him? He goes, "I don't know. She said something in Spanish. It kind of turned me on a little bit, but it also made me so angry. I don't know how to feel right now." I said, "All right, relax. Do you make her laugh?" He's like, "Yeah, I make her laugh all the time. I'm always making her laugh. I'm hilarious." I was like, "All right, cool. All right. Next time you make her laugh, make eye contact with her. Keep that eye contact with her, because women love eye contact. They love strong eye contact. Unless you're like in your car watching through your car window, don't not through that, not like that. Don't do eye contact that way." But I said next time you're making eye contact with her, that's when you should slide in there just gently, just a quick, "Yo, we should grab some tacos." I told take her to get some tacos because that would be a great way to bond with a Latina woman. He goes, "Tacos? Why would I do tacos? Isn't that a little stereotypical to just assume she likes tacos?" I said, "That's very stereotypical. It's very stereotypical." But every Latino or Latina loves tacos. Not one of us goes, "Oh, tacos." That's not something you say. That doesn't even translate to Spanish. Okay. So I told him to do that. He hits me back, and he's like, "Oh, good news. She wants to get tacos. She's laughing at my jokes." And I'm like, "I'm glad that she wants to get tacos and she's laughing at your jokes, because now she sees that you check two of the three most important boxes to every Latina woman. Can he eat? Is he funny? And can he dance? Those are the three most important." Now, she doesn't know that he can't dance. He fell at prom. He didn't even get on the dance floor. He had walked to the dance floor and then slipped and busted his ass before making any dance moves. So she doesn't know that part, but he's doing well so far. So I said, "All right, good. This is good news." He goes, "But," and I'm like, "What? But what? What's the problem?" He goes, "But she's not Mexican." And I'm like, "Where did you get Mexican from? What does that have to do with anything?" He goes, "Well, I thought she was Mexican." And I said that to her. I said, "You called her Mexican without knowing her ethnicity?" He goes, "Yeah." She goes, "I'm down to get tacos." And I said to her, "Okay, cool. By the way, are you Mexican?" And I was like, why would you assume or even ask that she's Mexican? Why don't you just ask what her ethnicity was? He goes, "I don't know. I forgot. I have to stop doing that." Which you do. You do have to do that. You have to stop doing that. And I said, "Well, what ethnicity is she?" He goes, "Well, she's Puerto Rican." And I said, "That's the worst type to call Mexican. As a Puerto Rican, our whole lives were called Mexican, and we don't look Mexican." And he showed me a picture of her. This woman did not look Mexican. Curliest hair I've ever seen in my life. I don't know where this dude got Mexican from. I told him abort the mission. I told him abort the mission. Biggest ick. Biggest ick. I think that's a huge Puerto Rican ick, is being called Mexican. No hate to, no shade to, all my Mexicanos out there. Love Mexico. Love Mexicans, Mexican food, Mexican culture, football. All that shit is dope. But it's just crazy how people just assume we're completely different. Our countries are not even close to each other. Our foods are completely different. We look completely different. You're only calling us Mexican because you're ignorant. Anyway, I told him, that's a tough hole to dig. I mean, if she still agrees to get tacos with you, she's probably planning to get you. She's gonna get you robbed. It's a setup at this point. Anyway, they have their date this weekend, so we'll see how that goes, and we'll see who drops her off at the date.